Hello everyone, my name is Robin and I am the Tired Witch. Welcome to my channel. So today I want to address a question that I received when I was going over my Q&A, and I thought that we could talk about it for like a whole video, if that's cool with you. I touched my mic again. Now my husband's brought up the fact that I've been touching my mic accidentally. I'm gonna do it all the time and I'm not meaning to. It's like an impulse. I'm so sorry. Mostly to him who has to edit this. Anyway, the question that was asked of me was, what is something about the witchcraft community that I would change? And I think that this is such an interesting question. I really do, because as a whole, I really love the community. I think that I don't know how to describe this. I've watched it grow since I was a teenager, and I am in my mid-30s now. I was there for Witchvox and the live journals and the MySpace groups, Zonga, AOL Instant Messenger chat rooms, like, yeah. I've been there through it all. And the thing is that we have this conversation that continues to come up in witchcraft circles, especially in the last like 2 or 3 years. And I think it's because of the pandemic and people are indoors and they're so angry. And I get why they're angry. I mean, I'm bored too. I'm over this as well. Like, I get it. And it's not a judgment at them, but there seems to be this ongoing topic that keeps coming up about this group is a problem and that group is a problem. And, oh, those witch talkers, like Facebook doesn't exist, or freaking bad Instagram infographics don't exist, or the void that is all of witch Twitter doesn't exist. Yeah, so the biggest thing that I would change about our community if I was the witchcraft president would essentially be this like finger pointing game. You know, we have this problem as a whole across every single path in the community of egocentric ideation. We sit there and we say, I am the best. I know it better than you. And you're a d if you think that your way of doing it is the right way. And I'm not going to sit here and play this game like, you know, people say, oh, there's no rules in witchcraft. Well, that saying is true, but it lacks a lot of nuance. Substitutions and UPG exist, but there is structure and order and an idea to how we do things. We do things, and the correspondences that we have are there for a reason. And even if you don't end up vibing or whatever with a certain way a practitioner does it, the reasoning that they might do it is ask them, learn why, and then we can build our own correspondence, our own practice, etc. So yes, there are no rules in witchcraft, but there is. It's a complicated and I think oversimplified expression that lacks a lot of nuance. But regardless, there isn't any empathy met in our community. It becomes a lot of, you effing idiot. Like, I don't do Facebook, and I got on Facebook recently. What was I doing? It doesn't matter. Anyway, I was on Facebook for some reason recently, and I was looking at the pagan groups, because I was like, you know what? I never looked at them here on this app. And they're so mean. People are so mean. They're just yelling at each other. People will go on there and ask for advice and ask for help. And instead of giving these people any help, you just have people going, this is why you don't do that. And it's like, you're not helping them, Janet. So I think ego is the biggest problem our community has. Ego and not meeting people at a human level. There's a lot of people that have very loud opinions in our community. good for them. Good for them that they're that confident about their practice. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of us don't have that, and good for them. But that's amazing. You're really, really confident in your practice. But do you have to be a jerk about it? Like, we come to things with such a hostile, negative approach instead of meeting people at their level and explaining, hey, if I were doing this, this is what I would do. Yeah, it's a lot of anger. And a lot of finger pointing and these guys are the problem. And it's like, are they though? Like, for example, I know it's a hot button right now to say, oh, those witch talkers. And I'm not a witch talker. So I'm not sat here trying to defend like myself or something. I mean, yeah, I'm on TikTok, but I'm definitely not a witch talker. I have like no followers. Anyway. My point is that I'm trying to get to is the fact that witch talk is right now the current, shadows in the night, the bad guys, can you believe those guys? When in reality, the problems that are on witch talk, the complaints are valid. I mean, some of the things that people are saying in there are a lot, but that's to paint the entire app with those witch talkers brush is ignoring a lot of really incredible and talented accounts out there that are doing their best to share good and true information in a short format, which is difficult to do. It's hard to make content in short formats. That's why I'm not a witch talker. I don't enjoy it. And to say that it's just happening on Witch Talk is a lie. Have you guys ever been on Twitter? Like, the whole witch Twitter sphere, there's a lot happening there. Facebook, like I just said, Instagram, infographics, every single social media platform has its problems. And then the obvious conclusion is, well, then just go buy books. Well, books have their problems too. I mean, even if you were buying a book from a pagan publishing house, that doesn't mean that the editors are like gods that are, without bias and without, flaws. And I'm not saying to not buy books, like buy books. Books are an incredible and amazing resource. But I think instead of sitting here and pointing fingers at different aspects of our community, instead we were to just mind our own business, especially if they're not hurting anybody. And secondly, if you think somebody is presenting something wrong, instead of being a jerk on the internet, redirect people to resources that are right. It's hey, I don't think this person's right because X, Y, and Z. And if you want to know more about that, here's some resources that I would use. It's that simple. And it's not condescending. It's not rude. It's just, that's not where it comes from for me. And I'd love to point you in a direction of that. If you want to read more about it, you can. This isn't new, by the way. Like, the ego in our community isn't new. You have a bunch of people in general that tend to be outsiders. The occult and witchcraft, it attracts outsiders, right? It's people that are wanting to have some more control over their life that they don't normally have. And that's what gets a lot of us into witchcraft. And the problem is you have people that are outsiders that maybe have spent a good portion of their life being ridiculed or bullied in a certain way. And instead of using that as a tool as to what not to do, we're instead using it as a tool to project onto others. And if I could change one thing about our community, it would be that and the scammers. And also the scammers. By the way, guys, if you see a scammer, report the scammer. I can't do anything about it. Telling me that they exist just gives me anxiety. If you are wondering if an account is mine, go to tiredwitch.com/find me. That is where all of my social medias are, and I would never have another account that wasn't linked there. That's the other problem with our community. I'm tired of it. Ugh. Anyway, on that note, I hope you have a great day, guys. Oh, and comment below something that you want to talk about next time. Bye!